our branch channel here in Cheshire Northwest. I'm Andrew Edge. I'm bringing you the local news and also national news. The national news I'm going to be bringing you today. I've just got to make sure we've got the right news in front of us. The first story obviously I've got is obviously in Politics Live. We've got Keir Starmer's migrant returns plan is actually in peril after the EU backs 5 countries raising serious concerns. It's actually pretty much typical, to be fair, because the first few stories I've got through GB News, by the way, and which is one of the main sources I do use, by the way. And so it says Sir Keir Starmer's hopes of securing migrant return deal with France could be in peril after the EU backed 5 countries which registered serious concerns, which is obviously typical. They're always going to back them over us, which is Italy, Spain, Greece and Malta and Cyprus, have all lined up voiced their fury at the scheme, because they don't want them to go back because they don't want them going to their countries instead of us. Under the one-in, one-out proposals, the 5 fear they would be forced to take in an influx of the deported migrants. But then I don't see why they can't just go back to their home country. So say, for example, Albania, they go back to Albania. So be it if they go to Albania and they're put to death, or they go back to whatever other country and again they're put to death. That's not our problem. But then it's the ECHR that's in the way, because obviously that then says we can't do it, because obviously it's a whole other world of pain, because obviously we're not allowed to do it because of all that. I still think that needs to stop him. So that's the first story we've got. There's then one regarding the pensions. So you've got state pension nightmare for the elderly Britons, as millions are going to be hit with a tax raid next year. So again, this is Labour causing more headaches for our elderly. Again, I feel so sorry for them. They've been hit time and time again. So it says a former government minister is sounding the alarm over potential tax raid on the state pensions in the near future, which is likely to happen thanks to the impact of the physical drag. Millions of pensioners relying solely on state pensions face unprecedented tax burden as early as next year, with frozen personal allowances creating physical trap for Britain's elderly population. The personal allowance remains fixed at the £12,570 until at least 2028, whilst the state pension, currently paying up to $11,973 annually to 12.9 million people is over 66, is set to breach this threshold. So again, I do feel so sorry for the elderly. They're getting hammered time and time again, and this needs looking into. Again, I know potentially this is something, again, us as Reform UK think daily about, whereas the Chancellor Rachel Reeves doesn't seem to care much about them. She's not very caring about many people, let's be honest, even though she's very tearful when it comes to looking like her job's on the line. Even though I don't rate her as a person, so just got to see how it goes. So that's that one. We then got the next one from GB News, which is a word of warning to the wealthy, because obviously the most devastating weapon is now irresistible. Hold on. Oh, it's not going to allow me to view that one, sorry. The next one, because obviously the next one obviously is one that's going to affect us all over the next week, which is Britain does face an alert as summer fireball blasts could break 2025 temperatures records again. Because obviously Britain is back on the heatwave alert, with temperatures about to rocket into another 30 plus fireball blast of the summer. Sunbaked Britons are warned not to be fooled by the cooler start to the week, with the potential for very hot weather as soon as this weekend. temperature records for the year could be broken once again, with weather models showing highs the 30s and beyond. Recent weather models have touted 40 degrees at the weekend, so obviously do beware. Don't want any of you guys to let it affect you. So obviously, yeah, we care about all you guys out there, so do be careful when you're going out. There's some of the temperatures up and down the country, so obviously wherever you are based, please make sure you do take care when you're out and about. That's the weather warning. And then as we're going out into the more into the local news, there is the CQC Ellesmere Port Arran Court, which is a care home not too far from myself. Bosses of the Ellesmere Port care home, where it's been placed into special measures, so all is being done to make huge improvements, considering it's one of the worst care homes locally and in the country. And after the inspection in March and April this year, owners of the Hill Care said the rating left them disappointed, but insisted that new management will steer their home back towards higher rating. A spokesman for Arran Court Care Home said, "We are deeply disappointed with our latest CQC report and took immediate action to address the issues raised by the inspectors earlier this year." So hopefully that'll turn things around there, but again, it just shows how bad care sector has gone over recent months and years. And obviously, whether that's not the only one that's like that, I think probably eventually we need to start looking at all these care homes and maybe investigate into them all, because obviously we can't just be looking at them all and do that. It's just the way things go. But let's just go one at a time and see how it goes. I think that's probably the best way to do things. And what I'll do is just make sure I've got the chat open as well, so obviously if you guys do send me any messages while you're on. Live chat. There you go, I'm just opening. That's the wrong one. So messing with that shouldn't be. Right. And then also the next story I've got as well is recently we've had this, which has been a story that's been going around. I've heard a few people talking about it, so it comes through onto the main news page as well. An Ellesmere Port man was arrested for a public order offence for feeding the birds, obviously, and the police have come under a bit of flack for it, because obviously the man was heard saying, "I feed birds, that's my religion," and obviously basically thrown in the back of a police van. A lot of people were watching that. It was on Marina Drive near the Port Arcades. So for a lot of you who do know the Ellesmere Port Town Centre, again, it was, I don't understand why all he was doing is feeding the birds, whether it's because they don't like the birds being fed or whatnot. The police haven't kind of come back, but they've given him a public order offence for doing it, and the man calmed down and was then de-arrested apparently. It's just ridiculous why you'd get that arrested for that. I don't understand, but we got that. Then obviously got another local story, which is calls to reinstate a vital bus route, which is the number 5, which has affected a lot of people trying to get to and from Queen's Ferry into Ellesmere Port, because it's they cancelled it and then trying to reinstate it, and then they put this new 101A bus in. It's whether it does get reinstated, I don't know, because it's all about money at the end of the day. Because when you see the figures quoted, spending 125 million was the cutbacks, and obviously how much it was, £270,000 a year it cost, approximately, whether it actually does. But there's a £40 million black hole. There's always black holes in these Labour budgets because Flintshire is a Labour council. It's again one of these that eventually, when we get in to the council there, we'll put our Doge in and we'll find out exactly what's going on there, because obviously we can't have this going on constantly. That's the main thing, and we'll have a look into it. But then there's one other story I did want to have a look at, which is this one, which is Cheshire Police search for this escaped prisoner with Region Link, which is to Ellesmere Port in North Wales, so actually just over the border as well. So this Colin Williams, who was serving a sentence for aggravated burglary and Section 18 assault, failed to return to HMP Thorncross in Appleton. Williams is described as white, around 5'11", tall, medium build, with brown hair and brown eyes. He also has a tattoo on his knuckles of his left hand and a smiley face tattoo in his lower right arm. But then my attitude to this is, why would you allow him out if you think he's a risk? I don't understand that. But there's that as a story as well. So obviously we've got all those stories for you guys as well. If you do want to comment on any of these stories, again, please let me know. I am here if you want to talk. I hope we can have a quick chat, and obviously just refreshing the chat. Because obviously hold on. So obviously, if any of you do want to chat, I've got the thing on here so I can see who's commenting. If any of you do want to comment, whereabouts? Oh yeah, whereabouts is the branch in Chester located? Oh yeah, the branch in our areas are located across the whole of the northwest. So it's from Chester all the way up to just below Runcorn, so Frodsham and Helsby. That's the whole of this branch. But if you want to come to the next branch meeting and you are a member, you are more than welcome, because we have got a branch meeting the 31st of July, and we are looking to get as many people to this branch meeting as possible. Are you a member of Reform UK? That's the other side of things, because we're looking to find out how many members we've actually got who are paid, because you've paid like the £25 a year membership. Because if you have paid the membership, you're more than welcome to come. Obviously, if not, obviously you can come and sign up on the day, or you can sign up online between now and then. It's worthwhile, because obviously once you are a member, you can then obviously go to the conferences. Like there's a conference in September. I'm going to that, which I'm looking forward to going to, because obviously all the big main people will be there, likes of Nigel and everyone, and obviously there'll be an after event party, and it'll be fantastic. Bit of fun, the conference in September. So I would advise, if you're not a member, please have a look at joining us, and we're always there. And obviously as we do have 32 wards to cover, including several throughout Chester, because the wards we're in Chester we're looking to cover are likes of Blackham, Chester City and Garden Quarter, Great Barton, Little Neston, Newton and Hoole, Parkgate, Sorgall and Mollington, Upton, Williston and Thornton. They're the Chester areas we cover. But then obviously we also cover all of Ellesmere Port and Bromborough. Then I'd say Runcorn and Helsby, which is Frodsham, Gowie and Rural, Helsby and Sandstone. But then we also cover Bromborough and Eastham. That's the full areas we do cover. So that's why we cover such a large area, as I mentioned. And we've got to get that in. And actually, I've been voted in as the first ward manager. So I now am Wolveram's ward manager in Ellesmere Port. So we're going to get that up and running. And then go from there, building it up step by step. But again, it might have to be faster depending on when and what happens to Keir Starmer come the end of this year, but step by step. So as I say, just let us know and we're here. But what area of Chester would it be you're classed as? Because obviously I can get it fast tracked on get that ward page built up, ready for you, Adam. Hold on. I'll put a comment on for you. Part of Chester. There you go. Because obviously, if we can get people from each part of them into their correct wards, that does help as well. Because obviously we've got so many people into everything. We should get this onto there, so I've got everything. Oh, don't move that. But as I say, we've got everything we can do effectively, let's be honest. We are trying to build everything we can as quickly as we can, because then eventually, if we need the MPs, that's the next stage. But let's be honest, we'll be doing what we can. But again, anyone else who's watching, and if you've got any questions, please let me know, and we'll try and answer them for you. Just trying to see if we had any on YouTube. No, not at the moment. That's fine. But again, it's fine, not a problem. But again, are there any other stories you think I haven't covered today as well? I can try and cover them as well. That's the other side of things. If you think there's anything I haven't covered, I'm more than happy to try and cover anything. So hi Annoying Child, how are you? Just going over everything. Obviously I've gone through a fair few stories today, obviously local and that. Obviously we are here to stay, Reform UK. We're building up our Cheshire Northwest Reform UK. If you are local to ourselves and obviously you want to get involved, obviously please let ourselves know, because we are trying to get everyone we can involved. Obviously, we have got a monthly branch meeting as of the end of the month, which is the we're having it held at the Royal British Legion in Little Sutton, which does hold up to 120 people. If you are a member, again, please come along. We are trying to get as many people in. It's the 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on that day. So we do have guest speakers. We've got a raffle going on. And there'll be a Q&A and stuff like that. So it should be a fun evening. Getting to know people. There'll be speeches from like all the main people there. Even myself will be giving a speech, because obviously I'll be introducing all the social media side of things, because obviously it's quite new to ourselves. So again, if any of you have any questions, please drop them on here. I'm happy to. Yeah.
Eyes back, that's what George is shouting at.
Okay.
On the camera.
Yes, Zoe. Yeah, it's just my wife talking, don't worry. Don't worry, everyone. It's fine.
I thought you finished.
It's alright to live stream. Live streams do get interrupted. It's what you expect during live streams, though. It's what makes them more fun. Hi to your man himself. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. If any of you are local to ourselves and you do want to get involved, do let us know. I'm happy to direct you to where we are. But again, I'm going to let you all go for now, because obviously I've given you as much information as I can for tonight. Obviously, I'll build up tomorrow's news and get that to you tomorrow. Just a final hello to Ashwini, Me Too, and Ahmed Zink. Hiya. Thanks for all of you for joining me on this live stream tonight. Again, I will bring you as much news as I can tomorrow, because I will build up a news stream tomorrow, and I will look to do it a similar time tomorrow. So if any of you want to join me tomorrow, I will be back on tomorrow night or tomorrow evening at similar time, because obviously I'm trying to get this built up as much as possible. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. But I look forward to Reform